This is the Berman Project. Hey, it's JD here, back for another week of introspection and reflection on loss, grief, and the pathway to mental wellness, all while filling my soul with the music and art of the late indie rock singer-songwriter, David Berman. How you doing? My name is JD, and, I'm here to take you on a bit of a journey, I suppose. Learning about myself and how I deal with things is a puzzle piece, in this great puzzle that is David Berman. I feel like understanding where I'm coming from a little bit better might help me understand him a little bit better. And, so every week we listen to a song from his discography, and we read a poem from Actual Air. I don't know what we're going to do when we run out of poems. Actual Air is dense, but it's not infinite. And as such, there will come a time where I won't be doing the poetry part. So there's that. It's a strange day here in Toronto. I went out to pick up my daughter's birthday cake not that long ago, and it was pissing down a real cold rain. Not quite a November rain, Axel, but it's December now. But I got, I was outside. It was one of those rains where you're outside for maybe 4 minutes, but it feels like you've been outside for 30 minutes. When you come inside, you're that wet. Like my pant legs were wet. How does that happen? I don't know. But I'm here to talk to you a little bit about something that I'm going through this morning. And that's, as I mentioned, it's my daughter's birthday party, and I bailed on it. I absolutely got up early enough this morning to get up and get ready and get showered and shaved and, enjoy the day with my youngest daughter. She turned 11 at the beginning of November, but she was sick, so she wasn't able to have a birthday party. So we're doing it now, and I didn't go, and I really struggle with this because my wife's like, and she said this with empathy, but she was like, "Well, then if you want to go, then shower and shave and get ready and come." And it's just not that easy. And I don't know why it's not that easy. I don't know why when the rubber meets the road, I bail as often as I do. And it's like, I don't like the uncomfortableness. And so I get all inside my head and, and then I'm fucked. And that's where I'm at right now. Now, Sydney was, absolutely lovely about me not going, but then that hurts me too, because is she expecting me not to go now at this point? Like, is it just like, am I just a terrible dad? I don't understand. It's thoughts like this that spin me right out of control, and I need to get out of my fucking head. So there's that. If you've got any thoughts or concerns, please shoot me an email, jd@mediumalchemist.com. I would love to hear from you. I've heard from a lot of you. Well, not a lot of you. I don't know how many there are of you. Significantly less than Medium Alchemists. Let's say that we're a tighter knit group here, and that's okay. There's a lot of you that don't want to listen to me barf emotion, in your general direction. For some, it's like that scene in Stand By Me. Somebody's barfing emotion, and suddenly everybody's barfing emotion, and that's no good for anybody either. I don't think. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. This is, I'm excited for this one. This is Trains Across the Universe. And Berman said that this was the first song that he wrote completely, which would make sense in terms of its placement on the record. It's right after introduction number 2. So it's the first real track on the record, even though introduction number 2 is fantastic. It's great. This is the first real track on the record. I thought what I would do is I found a live version of it. It comes from, I want to say 2008, from a radio station. So it's it's fully realized. It's not muffled with crowd noise or anything like that, and it just sounds lovely. So I thought I would share that with you instead of the studio track. So let's get right to that. This is Trains Across the Universe on the Berman Project. You gotta not step on that shit, JD. You gotta stay away. That was Trains Across the Sea live from WFMJ in 2008. WFMJ, I believe. I'm going to just do a quick search here. WFMU is the radio station, and I'm not sure where it hails from, but it's 2008. Yeah. This is great. It's a great version. If you haven't heard it before, congratulations and welcome. If you have heard it before, well, then welcome back, because it's a comfortable place to be. It's a lovely song that is comfortable to live in. I just think that I think that what the band learned on the two EPs, and keep in mind that, you know, the EPs came out, and then Berman fucked off to do either his master's or his doctorate in poetry, to sort of get away from all the Pavement references, because again, Pavement was blowing up big at this time. So when the time came to get back to it, to get back to music, and you know, if you dig in on the Wikipedia, they seem to indicate that he tried to get some stuff published in or around this time, some poetry published, and it didn't happen. So he sort of went back to music, and went back to thinking about music. And we got Starlight Walker as a result of that, once there was enough tracks. And then, you know, then they had to deal with their own fame, because Starlight Walker was very well received. Whereas the Dime Maps and Dime Map of the Reef and the Arizona record were not as well received. They were, you know, obviously they were received. The fans, you know, bought them and enjoyed them, but it wasn't the same as Starlight Walker. There's something, you know, different about this record, and you can hear it in the songwriting. You can hear it in that song. You know, yes, there's great Berman lyrics in it. There's great Berman lines in it, but cohesively as a song, it really works. And I can't help but be nostalgic when I hear it, thinking that, you know, I should have went to that outpouring in Phoenix, in Portland, to see him, to see Malcolm X and Bob, you know, pay tribute, and several other bands pay tribute to David. I regret that I didn't do that. You know, but what would I be if I didn't have regret? Like, my whole life is fucking regret. It's just, it's pathetic. It's pretty sad. Let's listen to the studio version too. I wasn't going to listen to the studio version, but I think we deserve it. This is a tremendous song. This is Trains Across the Universe. Trains Across the Sea. Yeah, Trains Across the Sea, not Trains Across the Universe. Jesus Christ. It's Trains Across the Sea, Berman fan. I don't know where Trains Across the Universe even came from. It sounds like some sort of weird Lennon tune. You know, if Lennon and Berman had got together. Anyway, let's just listen to Trains Across the Sea from Starlight Walker on the Berman Project.
Troubles, no troubles on the line. And I can't stand to see you. I can't stand to see you when you're crying at home. Scotch and penicillin, please try Carlton. A cold black maple hanger and husbands on the run. I just got back from a dream attack that took me by surprise. And in there I met a lady, her name was Shady Sides, and she said, all day long, and how can something so old be so wrong? Sin and gravity drag me down to sleep to dream of trains across the sea, trains across the sea. Half hours on Earth, what are they worth? I don't know. In 27 years, I've drunk 50,000 beers, and they just wash against me like the sea into a pier.
So I'm going to a dorky stout party tonight. I'm really into stouts right now. You know, the autumn weather here in Canada is it makes it that it's a nice place to go to in terms of drinks. You know, I love my IPAs for sure, but they feel, you know, more hot weather. They feel more thirst quenchy. Whereas a delicious stout, you know, has the warmth of alcohol. You know. Especially an imperial stout, has the warmth of alcohol in your chest, and it, you know, it just makes you feel like a fucking superhero. You know, I feel like a fucking goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero without a cape, and it makes me wonder if the first time I introduced Trains Across the Sea, I introduced it as Trains Across the Universe. I'm really curious now. If only I did quality control and went back and listened to this, I would be able to tell you for certain if that was the case, but I can't tell you for certain. So if you're listening to this and you were like, you fucking idiot, it's Trains Across the Sea when I introduced it the first time, well, just know that I know that I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm cool with that. Let's go to the poetry book. This is a long one this week, and I'm going to have to take my glasses off to read it, I think, because it makes it real difficult to read sometimes. But this is a long one. This is like 3 pages. This comes from Actual Air, the Berman published book of poetry, and it's called The Charm of 5:30. The Charm of 5:30. It's too nice a day to read a novel set in England. We're within inches of the perfect distance from the sun. The sky is blueberries and cream, and the wind is as warm as air from a tire. Even the headstones in the graveyard seem to stand up and say, hello, my name is... It's enough to be sitting here on my porch, thinking about Kermit Roosevelt, following the course of an ant, or walking out into the yard with a cordless phone to find out she is going to be there tonight. On a day like today, what looks like bad news in the distance turns out to be something on my contacts. Carports and white courtesy phones are spontaneously reappreciated, and random okays ring through the backyards. This morning I discovered the red tints in cola when I held a glass of it up to the light, and found an expensive flashlight in the pocket of a winter coat I was packing away for the summer. It all reminds me of that moment when you take off your sunglasses after a long drive and realize it's earlier and lighter out than you had accounted for. You know what I'm talking about. And that's the kind of fellowship that's taking place in town, out in the public spaces. You won't overhear anyone using the words dramaturgy or state inspections today. We're too busy getting along. It occurs to me that the laws are in the regions and the regions are in the laws, and it feels good to say this, something that I'm almost sure is true outside under the sun. Then to say it again around friends in the resonant voice of a 19th century senator just for a lark. There's a shy-looking fellow on the courthouse steps holding up a placard that says, "But I kind of liked Clinton." His head turns slowly as a beautiful girl walks by, holding a refrigerated bottle up against her flushed cheek. She smiles at me, and I allow myself to imagine her walking into town to buy lotion at a brick pharmacy. When she gets home, she'll apply it with great lingering care before moving into her parlor to play 78 records and drink gin and tonics beside her homemade altar to James Madison. In a town of this size, it's certainly possible that I'll be invited over one night. In fact, I'll bet you something. Somewhere in the future, I'm remembering today. I'll bet you I'm remembering how I walked into a park at 5:30, my favorite time of day, and how I found 2 cold pitchers of just poured beer sitting there on the bench. I'm remembering how my friend Chip showed up with a catcher's mask hanging from his belt, and how I said, "Great to see you. Sit down. Have a beer. How are you?" And how he turned to me with the sunset reflecting off his contacts and said, "Wonderful. How are you?" How's he going to respond? This is somebody who's really taking note of their surroundings. Pretty good stuff there. Listen to me. Pretty good stuff there. It's great. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's very evocative. I love the part of him meeting the girl and allowing himself to imagine her buying lotion at a brick pharmacy. That's the first step in him imagining her applying it to her body and then listening to 78s and drinking G&Ts. That's great. That's very in-depth. It's very thorough. And that's special. That's a special talent that this gentleman has, in creating these moments, these clips, these conversational clips, and wonderful moments. I really, truly dig it. I hope you do too. And please check in. JD at MediumAlchemist.com. I would love to hear from you. That's what I've got for you this week. Couple versions of Trains Across the Sea. And of course, that great poem. So there's that. Be well, stay hungry, stay foolish, and wash your goddamn hands. The Berman Project is a production of Duvra Podcasts and Such. You can find out more about the show at www.thebermanproject.xyz. That's right, I'm fucking Canadian. I'm also social. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and all the rest at Berman Project. Duvra Podcasts and Such.